Hi everyone, my name is Abby and welcome to my first show. I have been wanting to start a cooking YouTube show for years now, and I've finally gained the courage to do so, and I'm super excited to be filming my first video, but also super nervous. So full disclosure, this is actually my second video because there apparently is a lot of learning to do whenever beginning a YouTube show, and I didn't know a whole lot. So turns out all of my footage from the other day was in the wrong format and I couldn't get it to convert. So here we are again. Second time's a charm, I hope. Anyway, just a little bit about myself. I recently graduated from Texas A&M and I moved to Fort Worth to begin law school. So I'm a law student, so we'll see how long this show lasts because things are getting a little hectic, but there's no time like the present, so I thought I should start. So for my first video, we're going to be making something super simple, just a really good basil almond pesto. You guys are actually super lucky that I messed up the first time because the first video there was a lot of mistakes and I was sort of just throwing everything into the blender and seeing what worked. But now I have really good measurements and a good grasp on things and have fixed some little mistakes here and there. You guys might have realized that I did say almond pesto, and if you're a pesto nut, pun intended, you might know that basil is normally made with pine nuts, but you also might know that pine nuts are like really expensive and I'm a broke student, so almonds it is. So unfortunately the other day I pretty much took every leaf off my basil plant Peter over there by the window, whom I might introduce later. He's kind of shy though, so we'll see. So today I just had to go back to the store and get basil, but this is a pretty good substitute. I mean, it's still basil, it's just not right off my plant, so whatever. I'm sorry I'm dressed like a total hippie. I'm literally wearing a homemade tie-dye shirt because I had no idea I was going to be refilming for my first video. I got all dressed up in a cute outfit and did my hair and makeup, but y'all aren't getting that this time around because that was a lot of work and it all went to waste. So, anyway, let's get started talking about what ingredients we're going to use. So first we have basil leaves, and I'm not really sure the best way to measure these out, but I would say I used about 40 grams. So if you have a little food scale, it's super easy to measure that out. Second, we have Parmesan cheese, nothing fancy, just pretty much from any store. You can get the cheapest, it always works for me. We have 3/4 of a cup of that. And then we have a cup of slivered almonds. Once again, you can get this at pretty much any store and definitely cheaper than pine nuts. But if you really love pine nut pesto, then feel free to use a cup of pine nuts instead. Next, we have 2 cloves of garlic diced. I know this looks pretty big, but it's all gonna be ground up in here anyway. And yes, your hands are gonna stink for like 3 days, but it's totally worth it to have fresh garlic instead of powdered garlic or anything like that. We're also going to use 3/4 of a cup of olive oil, and once again, this doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you can't get your olive oil straight from the vineyards in France, H-E-B brand will do, or Walmart brand, or whatever brand you want. It doesn't matter. This is like $2 and it works just fine. And last but not least, we have salt and pepper. These are pretty much to your taste. I think I use about a teaspoon of each whenever I make pesto, but you can just stick your finger in, not while it's running, don't do that, and get a little taste and add however much you think. The first time around, I was using the Vitamix for the first time as a food processor, and full disclosure, I was not super excited with how well it worked. I know a lot of people say that you can use Vitamixes interchangeably with a food processor, but I would say if you do have a food processor, use that instead. But I don't have a food processor, and this does the job. It just, you know, it takes a little bit longer and a little bit more effort, but it works just fine. Okay, so I'm going to start by just adding the olive oil and the basil leaves. You need to start with all of the olive oil because it creates a very liquidy texture and that helps all the ingredients grind in the Vitamix. You might not necessarily need to do that with a food processor, but one thing about the Vitamix is it does have to be pretty liquidy if you're not making a whole tub of stuff because it all has to get down to the rotary, and so that's kind of one of the difficulties I faced the last time I made pesto in it. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so I've added just the basil and the olive oil into the Vitamix, and I'm going to start at a really low setting, about 2. So let's try that. Now I'm going to add the almonds and the garlic. These two things are the things that take the longest to grind up, so I'd like to add them in early. Okay, so I have the almonds and the garlic added, and I'm gonna turn it up to about 5. Okay, so it's doing a pretty good job grinding it all and getting it all to mix through. The first time I made it, I had trouble with it all going to the sides and sticking to the sides and just staying there, and I had to open it every time I turned it on and move it with a spoon. But today it's working a lot better. I'm not really sure why. I don't know, maybe I have more oil this time? Honestly, I don't even think I need to have the lid on, so let's see. I literally got pesto in my eye. Okay, pro tip, keep the lid on. That was stupid. Okay. I just realized I forgot to add the garlic. Oh wait, it's fine. I just have to grind it for a little bit longer. By no means am I a professional. What did I just say? Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, so it's doing a pretty good job grinding everything. I'm just gonna mix it around with a spoon. See how it does. Give it a little taste. I like to snack while I eat. Oh my god. That is so good. Oh my god. Okay, now I have to get a new spoon because I know I'm going to be sharing this with people. Yo, I literally just finished filming and I went to go look at my videos, and the main video of me actually making this pesto never recorded. Oh my god. I think I might call this the shit show. Luckily, I have a lot of ingredients left, so let's just do this again. Oh my gosh. This is the 3rd time I have made pesto. Look how much pesto I already have. Who needs that much pesto? Oh my god. I might yell. But not on camera. Keep composed. Okay, so I just want to give y'all a view of like how this texture is looking right now. It's doing a pretty good job. It still has a lot of mixing to go. Okay, so now I'm mixing it at a higher speed. If you have a Vitamix, it's the number 4, whatever that means. I'm not really sure what unit of measure it uses, but it's the 4 on the dial. And it's doing a pretty good job there. So let's get an update on how it's looking. It's looking much darker and like pesto. So I'm just gonna mix it from here. Y'all, I just realized I forgot to add salt and pepper. I never said I was a pro, okay? I know. These are some amateur mistakes. And like I mentioned before, I'm doing about a teaspoon of salt and pepper, but that's totally your preference. Just taste it and see what you think. Let's see what happens if I turn it all the way up. I've never gone to 10. I'm just gonna go to 7 because baby steps. We're gonna keep it at 3 or 4. So since there's pretty much no room left in my jar, I'm just gonna put it in some Tupperware and go get a jar at the store later, I guess. Now I have all this pesto and there's one of me. So I hope my classmates like pesto because whether they like it or not, I'm gifting it to them. So just to give you guys a couple ideas on what you can use all of this pesto for, it's really good on pasta, as pretty much all of you guys know any pasta or ravioli. It's really good on baked chicken. It's really good in a caprese salad or a panini or even on pizza. It's a very versatile food. So totally worth it and it's delicious. I just want to thank you guys for watching my first video, and I hope that you do have a chance to make this pesto yourself because it's so easy and so good. If you have any suggestions, I would really appreciate them. As you know, I have a lot of learning to do and a long way to go. So any comments would be appreciated. Just no hate because I'll cry and I'll never make a video again and I'll become a hermit. So yeah, you get the point. No hate. Well, the proof is in the pudding. That is insane. So yeah.